All right, you know what? Let's get through some of these picks here in our ultimate lineup, in your ultimate lineup, and compare them to our picks. You already know that we're both going with Russell Westbrook. That's how we're starting our slate at point guard. Who do you have at point guard today?
I'm going with Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
A player who rested over the weekend. And again, I'm not going to talk you out of Westbrook by any means. I think this is a night where he's worth it. I like John Wall as well, and then I do like Giannis. But Kyrie gets a good matchup against the Denver team that we know likes to play fast. Defensively, they're 29th out of 30 in the league in terms of rating. They're the 7th fastest team in terms of how fast they play, and they give up the 4th most points of anyone while scoring the 3rd most. So it's going to be a fast-paced game. These are the type of games where Cleveland tends to, kind of fall asleep a little bit defensively and let a team like Denver hang around. And that was kind of the case against the Lakers over the weekend when Kyrie basically just had to take over. And as we know now, he ended up going for 46 points.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
All right, so at shooting guard, I've got Bradley Beal because, first of all, obviously I'm a Wizards fan, but I just had to, go a little bit of bargain hunting here, and I feel like he was a pretty good option at around $7,200. It saves me a little bit of money since I spent so much money on Russell Westbrook. Where did you go at shooting guard?
I actually saved even more money at $6,400. Victor Oladipo. I mean, Russell Westbrook's going to get his assist tonight, right?
Yeah.
Let's hope he gets close to 20. So Oladipo, I hope, gets some of those his way, and I think he might be the guy. So I'm going to combo backcourt there. What about you, Nick?
I went even cheaper, guys, and stuck with that Milwaukee-Sacramento matchup. I went with Buddy Hield. A player who the ceiling certainly is not as high as Hield as it is for Beal and Oladipo to a slightly lesser degree. But he's playing big minutes. He's played 32 minutes each of the last couple of games, averaging over 27 minutes since coming to Sacramento. And we know how much Vivek Ranadive loves Buddy Hield, and I think they're basically going to do everything they can to make this Buddy Hield's team for the rest of the season. Is that going to result in wins for the Kings? Probably not, but I think they want to at least see what they have here in Buddy Hield. And since he's come to Sacramento, he's shooting 50% from the floor. He's shooting 50% from 3 on 5 attempts per game. Not going to give you much in terms of assists, blocks, or steals, but he rebounds at a decent rate for a shooting guard. And you're probably locked into somewhere between 14 and 20 points.
All right. Who do you like between Oladipo and Beal? Who would you pick tonight?
Oh, it's got to be Beal.
Oh,
Oladipo's cheaper for a reason, and Beal's got a better matchup. And Atlanta allows a ton of points to shooting guards. I think Beal's got the higher ceiling.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's go on to our next one here. Let's go to who do you have at small forward tonight?
I'm going with Will Barton. You look at that Denver game, again, should be fast-paced. Danilo Gallinari, Wilson Chandler are both banged up. This might change if Gallinari ends up playing. He's considered doubtful as of last night. We haven't heard from the Nuggets quite yet. They're a team that doesn't do a lot of shoot-arounds, so they're a little bit tough to get info on. Wilson Chandler's considered questionable, but if either one of those guys doesn't play, I like Barton at 7,500. If both of them don't play, then I like them even more.
Okay. That's where actually I had to save some money. And I actually have 3 shooting guards in my lineup tonight based on the guard. Starting shooting guard as well as the second guard as well as the utility. I went with the combo of Denzel Valentine, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Nick Stauskas. I'm not sure if that's an all-star team there, but
Nick, what was that reaction? Was that a positive or a negative woo?
I don't know if I've ever seen that combination in a lineup before. I like it. Going out on a limb.
We'll see. It's all or nothing. It's kind of like my strategy with my March Madness brackets, and that hasn't worked out so well. So I don't know why I continue with this.
Yeah, he loves doing that. I had Bojan Bogdanovic as well.
Okay.
How about power forward? I went with Aaron Gordon. Where did you go, Nick?
I'm going with the guy that I feel like I go with every week, but he keeps playing 35 minutes a night. So I'm going Marvin Williams. He's coming off of a 36-minute night against Atlanta on Monday. Only went for 13 points, but still found a way to get to 32 fantasy points. His price has climbed up a little bit, up to 6,400, but he's still a guy that's returning, 5 or more times value on a lot of nights.
Where did you go?
Willie Cauley-Stein
Ooh.
was my pick tonight against
Like
Milwaukee.
That.
So, that fit in nicely with my lineup here. And then at center, I went with Enes Kanter, yet another Thunder player in my lineup here. What about you?
I went with Aaron Gordon.
Oh, okay.
But I have Willie Cauley-Stein later on in further in my utility spot, so
Gotcha.
I like that pick.
How about you, Nick? Who did you have for your center tonight?
Well, I went with Rashawn Holmes.
You like him?
I do, yeah. On the basis that Jahlil Okafor hopefully isn't going to play. You know, if we're talking DFS, I think it would be helpful if that knee is still bothering him tonight. But we haven't heard one way or the other on Okafor. He's still questionable. And then I like Cauley-Stein too. I'm with you guys on him. I have him as a reserve off the bench. It's rare for a center, and I guess you can play him at a forward or a center, but especially a young player like him who's kind of been pigeonholed as an energy guy to be able to get you 4 steals, 4 blocks, 5 assists in addition to 8 or 9 rebounds like he did against Phoenix last week. That's not going to be every night by any means, but being able to get those kind of ancillary contributions from that position is really valuable.
All right. Let's take a look at the ultimate lineup of Nick Whalen, and you know what he has gone with as far as his starting 5, and there you see it right there leading off with Kyrie Irving. And then, the one other player that I didn't mention here, and I'm curious, I'm hopeful that he has a little bit of a continuation of what we're seeing here, is Rajon Rondo is actually putting up some decent numbers for the Chicago Bulls, and so that's who I have as my next point guard, another guard there in my lineup here. So you have Nick Stauskas as well as Avery Bradley.
I do.
Okay, so Avery Bradley, you're not concerned now that Isaiah Thomas is back and kind of taking over control of that offense again?
Mm-hmm.
No, not too much. I mean, Bradley's never really been too much of a creator. I don't think they were really handing the keys over to him to create in Thomas's absence. He's not a big assist guy. I think he might be better, with Thomas in the lineup, kind of playing off the ball and being able to do what he does. And he's not rebounding at the crazy rate that he was. He was averaging like 8 rebounds a game from the shooting guard spot through the first couple months of the season, but he still has those nights, where he'll get 6 or 7. He had 9 boards on Monday against Washington. So I think there's a little bit of upside there, and his price is still down a bit as he still comes back from that Achilles injury.